Good afternoon, Shruti, Parimal, Asmita, Saurav, Anusri, Arihant, Ayushi, and Manajay. Today we are going to start revising missing words. Okay, so please stay with me. Let us revise. Okay, so as you can see, dear students, right in front of your screen, I'm just zooming it out for you to see properly. Okay, so as you can see here, uh, it is given. Uh, so let's practice it. For example, the first one you see, I was careful dash behave as well as possible. So first example is given, I was careful to behave. I was careful to behave as well as possible to persuade king to give my freedom. Okay, so I was careful to behave as well as possible to persuade the king. So it should be persuade the king to give my freedom. Lilliputians soon began to lose fear of me. So uh, give me, number C will be give me my freedom. Okay, give me. It should be, there should be me between give and my. So give me my freedom. Lilliputians soon began to lose fear of me. Number D, Lilliputians soon began to lose their fear. Okay, lose their. It should be there here, there here. Between lose and fear, their fear of me. So why there? Because Lilliputians. So plural. That is why lose their fear of me. They called the mountain. They called the mountain man. So number E. Let's find out. They called. Um, what shall be the answer? You tell me. They called me the mountain man. Sometimes lay down and let them dance on my hand. Sometimes number F. I, because it is talking about I. It's a first person narrative. Sometimes I lay down and let them dance, okay, on my hand. So here, as you can see, uh, sometimes they called me the mountain man. Sometimes I lay down and let them dance on my hand. Okay, I lay down, so it should be number F should be I. So dear students, as you can see here, now it is a first person narrative. Okay, how do you know it's a first person narrative? What is first person narrative? Let me tell you. If a paragraph or if a description of something starts with I, that is you are doing the description, you are making the description in first person, that is called first person narrative. Okay, suppose you go to an excursion or you go to a picnic spot and shoot there. Okay, you shoot there some of the iconic moments or some of the beautiful moments that you had with your near and dear ones. Then and then uh, you make a documentary on that. For example, just a video presentation might be, and you give your voiceover. Okay, so you shall make a first person narrative. Okay, so first person narrative is when the speaker himself or herself, okay, is the or is the narrator. Okay, so that is what is first person narrative all about. Okay, and there is another narrative called third person narrative. Third person narrative means if I explain something of yours. Okay, if I explain something uh, of yours, that is called third person narrative. Okay, suppose you have described to me your experience of a picnic and then I am describing it, okay, on your behalf. In that case, or not on your behalf exactly, I will describe what you have described to me. So that will be third person narrative, and first person narrative, as I told you, if the narrator himself is the speaker, okay, um, or the person who has experienced it, okay. So next you see here PV Shelley. PV Shelley is considered PV Shelley is considered to to be one of the greatest. So it should be after considered. We always use to. So PV Shelley is considered to be romantic poets of all times. Okay, romantic poets here refers to a group of poets. Always remember who belong to the romantic movement in English poetry. Okay, or English literature, there is a movement called romantic movement. It means that all the poets, all the poets like P.V. Shelley, like uh, John Keats, like William Wordsworth, then Samuel Taylor Coleridge, they all joined in this movement, okay, romantic movement in literature, in which like the poet used to write about nature, number one. Then they used to write in the language of the layman. Language of the layman means the ordinary people, very very ordinary people. So all the poets belonging to romantic movement or romantic literature used to write about nature and everyday everyday experience, like very very mundane experience and very very common experience that human beings normally undergo, like for example pain, suffering, death, okay, pleasure. So all these things are the common day experience that every ordinary human being experiences, okay. So romantic poets did not write about something which is very philosophical or something which is very abstract. You need to study philosophy, you need to study history, you need to study metaphysics to understand the content of the writer. No, romantic poets used to write about the common everyday happening in the society. For example, as I told you, it can be anything about suffering. It could be anything about sorrow, death, or any kind of celebration, or it can be anything from nature. Okay, so romantic, the subject matter of the romantic poets became the subject matter of the ordinary human beings, what people enjoy or experience on an everyday basis. And number two, their writing style was very very lucid. Lucid means very very simple for everyone to understand. They wrote in a language which was understood even by the farmers, even by the very ordinary human being. Understood. They did not write in a very poetic or in a very literary sort of way. And one more characteristic of romantic poetry is romantic poets used to take recourse to, or romantic poets took supernatural element in their writing. Okay, supernatural element means it should be a spirit, or it can be a ghost also. Okay, something which is very powerful. Okay, or some unknown force which is divine, or which can be evil spirit also. Okay, so they made use of supernatural element in their writing. Okay, and P.B. Shelley is one of the most renowned and greatest of all the romantic poets. Okay, I told you the names of the poets who belong to romantic age in literature. They are P.B. Shelley, then John Keats, then William Wordsworth, then Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Okay, So they are the frontliners of frontline poets, you can say, of Romantic movement in English literature. Okay. So anyway, I thought of giving you some knowledge about Romantic poetry literature because normally it is not there in your syllabus. So as a passing reference, I have to give you the knowledge of this literature. Okay. So that is why I discussed with you. Now let's work out, uh, coming back to our topic, that is missing words. So we all must experience the pleasant feeling of wind blowing us usually. Okay, so we all must have experienced, right? It should be have here. See, have is given here. So we all must have experienced. So you should write here have in the answer. And the pleasant feeling of wind blowing around us usually. Okay, blowing around us, it should be around here. We find nothing unusual in it. We find, number D, you can see, we can find. Okay, we can find nothing. Can will come between find and we can find nothing unusual in it, but for Shelley it is something unique. Okay, it is something unique. So between it and something, is will be used. Okay, see here, it is used, but for Shelley it is something unique and special. The wind inspired dash to write great poems. The wind inspired him, because this particular sentence talks about P.B. Shelley. Okay, that is why it should be him here. So the wind inspired him to write great poems. Understood? So that is the uh, paragraph all about. So dear students, always remember that you need to first check whether the passage talks about something factual, or something which describes about scientific facts. Okay, if the passage describes about some scientific facts or universally true facts, okay, or some kind of suggestions or advice, in that case the verbs will be always in the present tense. Okay, otherwise it is in the past tense. If the passage is about an ordinary incidence in the past, then the verb will be always in the past tense. So remember this tip. So before you sort of start working on this, before you start working on the answers, you should first check once whether the passage given is in the is factually true passage or universally true passage or scientific fact or not. If it is neither of this, then you can then of course it will be an incidence based in the past, so it can be the answer will be in the past tense. Of course, if the answer is about the tense or the verbs. Otherwise, for prepositions and all that, it's all unique. Okay, for all types of passages. Anyway, so now let's work it out. This you've done. Number 4, let's work out, dear students. So you tell me the answer of number 4. If you have a telephone at home, you will admit it rings when you. Okay, so you tell me the answer of number B. Number B. If you have a telephone, you will admit it rings when you least one. Okay, so number B, you tell me first. What shall be the answer of number B? I'm waiting for your answer. I'll show you now. Tell me, what should be the answer of B? Have you written, dear students? Admit. Asmita has written admit that. Yes, Asmita, you're absolutely correct. Okay, so it should be admit that. Will admit that it rings when you least want it to ring, especially when you asleep. So number C, you tell me. Any one of you tell me number C. What should be the answer? You are asleep. Okay. Very good. Very, very good. Both of you, Asmita, Manager, Shreya. Okay. Very good. Okay. Next. Um, Next you see, or in middle of a meal, or when you are. Okay. So what is the answer? When you least want it to ring, especially when you are asleep, or in middle of a meal, or when you are. That is very simple. I think it's very easy. It's very easy, isn't it? Or in the middle of a meal, or when you are in your bath. Even you don't want to attend it. Okay, number E, you tell me. Number E, you tell me. Even if you sort of, if you, Asmita, when you. Okay. So let's find out. Let's find out. Uh, Even when you don't want to attend it, you, even if you don't, even if you don't want to attend it. So number E, it should be when. It should be when, because there is no if here, no, in the option there is no if. So it should be even when you don't want to attend it. Um, Number F, you tell me. Number F, now you tell me. You not ignore it. You not ignore it. Even when you don't want to attend it, comma, you dash not ignore it. You, it's a very simple, very simple. I hope you know it. You cannot. Yes, correct. You cannot. You cannot ignore it. The idiotic bell rings and disturbs the privacy of your house. Okay. Yeah, a telephone. Telephone. Now, more than telephone, it's the mobile phone, which is very much distractive in nature. Okay, it distracts you from distracts your attention. Okay, so therefore, whenever you do an important work, you should keep it in silent mode. Okay, when even when you take a nap after lunch, or might be whenever you are busy with some work or the other, and you don't want to be distracted, you don't want to be diverted, in that case as well, you can keep your mobile phone in silent mode. Okay, then you shall not be disturbed, otherwise it's a distraction nowadays. Okay, and as Ravin Sharma said, distraction is the biggest thief of time. Always remember, distraction is the biggest thief of time. Thief of time means what? Thief of time means something which steals away your time. Distraction steals away your time. So Ravin Sharma has said very poetically, distraction is the thief of time. Okay, like the thief steals away something from you, likewise distraction also steals the time away from you. Okay, that is why we should not get distracted whenever we do something very very urgent, or something whenever it's our study time or it's our sleeping time. We should not be distracted, understood? Therefore you should keep your cell phone, or if your tablet and all that in silent mode. Anyway, dear students, let's move on to the next paragraph, next thing, that is sources of air pollution. Sources of air pollution, many and diverse, are many and diverse. So one is given for you as an example. So number B onwards, you tell me. But none are lethal as vehicles, as they are responsible for very high. But none are lethal. Lethal means deadly. Okay, lethal means deadly or dangerous. Okay, so tell me, dear students, what should be the answer of number B? Very quickly, you tell me. Quickly, let's finish it off very fast. But none are lethal as vehicles, as they are responsible for very high. So I can give you some hint. Your error is before this comma. Okay, means this part. Your error is in this part. You see, your error is this part before comma. Okay, here this part, not this part. Your error is in this part only. Now you tell me quickly. Shreya, Asmita, Manajay, Vaibhav, Tanvi, Krishna, anyone? Do you know the answer of this? Shreya said, so lethal. Asmita says, as lethal. Uh, any other answer? Okay, so but none are as lethal as vehicles. Okay, it should be as lethal, not so. It should be as lethal as vehicles, as they are responsible for very high emissions. Okay, vehicular emissions take place. The number C, vehicular vehicular emissions take place. Vehicular emissions take place off in off on, off in off on. So vehicular emissions take place, very simple, this one is very easy. Yes, in, very good. So it should be in. Vehicular pollutions emissions take place in the breathing zone of the people. So those live or work in close. Number D, number D, whom, when, who, whom, when, whom, when, who. So those live or work in close. So those live or work in close. So those those who live or work in close. Okay, those who live or work in close proximity. Understood? Let me see. Yes, I think Asmita is correct. Manojoy also correct. Who should be the answer? Yes, Vaibhav Parimal. Very good. So those who live or work in close proximity, heavily traveled roadways are number E. Number E, just see here which one. So those who live or work in close proximity, heavily traveled roadways. Tell me, what should be the answer? What shall be the answer, dear students? This is a bit difficult, but not so difficult. Let me see. Asmita, Manajay, Asmita, Saurav, Parimal. Okay, you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. So those who live or work in close proximity of heavily traveled roadways are subject to high level pollution. Subject to high level pollution, say experts. Okay, so that is very simple. Number F. I think you can do it very quickly. Number F. Number F off. Okay, very good. Subject to high level of pollution. It should be off. Number F should be off. Okay, that is very simple. Uh, so studies show that exposure to auto exhausts causes severe health damages. Okay, auto exhausts. Yes. So that is very dangerous for our health, dear students. So if you use mask, even when there is no corona threat, even when there is no threat from virus, in normal situation also, whenever we go outside, and especially when we are traveling in public vehicles, we must wear mask, because see, vehicular emission is too much in the city. So vehicular emission, are very much harmful for our lungs. So therefore, uh, we should always wear mask and try to avoid very densely, traffic areas. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much, dear students. I shall update these exercises and then I shall send you a link so that you can do at home as well. Okay. So that's about it today, dear students. We shall meet in our next class with some other topic. Okay, I shall find out the topic for you and will let you know on that day itself. Okay, so and if you have any other thing, any other topic which you haven't understood from your syllabus, please let me know through WhatsApp. Okay, bye bye, take care and have a nice time. Bye bye.